Hi, I'm Casey. Welcome to the iHeart Latin channel, lesson number 6, where we are going to talk about nouns that have different meanings in the singular and the plural. So remember, nouns belong to one of 5 families or declensions. If you look up here on the board, you'll see that I have some pairs of words. So the first word I've got up here, the first pair I should say, is gratia, gratiae, gratiae, gratiarum. Now, because you're getting really good at identifying which nouns belong to which declension, you'll be able to look up here and think to yourself, hey, I recognize that, well, at least this one right off the top of my head I can tell belongs to the first declension. Because I look at the genitive singular and I see the AE, and I know, oh, okay, this belongs to the first declension. And because you've memorized your declension endings, you can look at this word right here and know, hey, that's also a genitive ending, although that's genitive plural, but still belongs to the first declension. So this word is the same word, however, it has a different meaning in the singular and the plural. So in the singular, it means influence, grace, if we're talking about something having to do with the Christian faith, or favor. In the plural, it means thanks. So that means anytime you see a singular version of this word, it's going to mean either influence, grace, or favor. If you see a plural version of this word, it's going to mean thanks. Same with this pair of words right here, copia, copiae. In the singular, it's always going to mean supply. In the plural, it's always going to mean troops. And I put this notation over here, feminine, because remember, in the first declension, nouns are always feminine, unless they refer to something that's kind of traditionally male. Well, normally we would think troops refer to something that's traditionally male, and you're right, normally troops are male, but this does fall under the rule of the feminine noun rule. So it is indeed feminine, even though it is referring to something that's kind of traditionally male. So I just wanted to point that out. And normally, again, whatever curriculum you're using will probably include that as a note, just so you know, because it is important to memorize along with the definitions of the word, whether they're masculine or feminine, as well as what declension they belong to. So let's look at this sample sentence here, and let's just plug the right Latin words in, the right form of the right Latin word in. The supply of troops pleased Caesar. So we'll start out like we always do, finding our subject. So who or what is this sentence about? It's about the supply. So this is my nominative, this is my subject. I know from looking at my list over here that the word supply is singular, because remember, when we're talking about nouns, we think about GNC, gender, number, and case. So I've got my number and my case, and my gender, well, this belongs to the first declension, so this is feminine. Let's find the verb next. What is the supply doing or being? Well, it's pleasing Caesar, right? So here's my verb. Can I answer the question, the supply pleased who or what? Yes, I can. So Caesar is my direct object. That is the accusative case. Caesar is singular and he is masculine, obviously. And then I've got one more noun up here of troops. So remember that when you see the word of, at least at this stage in learning Latin, we're going to sort of assume that it's possessive. It won't always be, but right now let's just assume that it is. So remember that if you could put an apostrophe S on this word, like could I say the troops' supply please Caesar? Yes, indeed I could. So this is possessive, even though in English we would consider this a preposition. This would be an object of the preposition. In Latin, we would consider this possessive because they don't have, I've said this before, that there is no such thing as the apostrophe S in Latin. So they wouldn't say Mary's books, they would say the books of Mary. We wouldn't say it like that in English, but that's how they would say it in Latin. So you often see it translated this way. It can be a little bit tricky, especially for younger students. So just keep that in mind. So this is going to be our genitive. Troops, and I know from looking at my list over here that the word for troops is plural, and it is feminine. So let's put this all together. We're going to start out with our nominative singular. So if you have your declension cheat sheet, you can look at that. Otherwise, hopefully you've memorized the endings by now. So a nominative singular feminine ending for a word in the first declension would be what? Copia. So there's my word for supply. My genitive will come next. My possessive will come next. Now, ironically, it's the same word, the same root word, right? The same stem. Only this time I'm going to decline it in the plural because that will mean troops. So my genitive plural, that's kind of hard to read, that's plural. My genitive plural ending for copiarum is copiarum. That's the genitive plural. And then remember that verbs come last. So we'll put our accusative, our direct object next. The word for Caesar is Caesar, Caesaris. As a third declension noun, so I know to find the stem of the third declension, I drop the is. So Caesar is my stem. And what is an accusative singular masculine ending for Caesar, Caesaris? It would be Caesarem. So if you look on your chart, you can find that. Caesarem. And then the word for pleased you don't know yet is placuit. Don't worry, you'll learn that later. So this is how this sentence would read in Latin. Copia, copiarum, Caesarem, placuit. You can see that this word it comes from the same word, but it just means something different in the singular and the plural. That is it for today's lesson. It's a short one. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons. You can also hit the bell if you want to be notified when there is a new episode. Thank you for watching. Valete!